In your digital download, you're gonna have two different options for how to print the pattern. The one on the right that I have here is going to be doable on a home printer. You can print it at any print shop. This one is printed as if they're blueprints or architectural designs. It's the one that's labeled A0 or AO, and it prints out in one full sheet. So the cost difference between the two, when I printed them at FedEx, this one was about, I think, $7 to print my 10 sheets and then tape them together. And then this one, after taxes, was, I think, $13. So there is a bit of a price difference, but if you want to cut out all the taping together and whatnot, do this one for sure. The only other note that I have on the taping together version is you do want to make sure that when you're taping them together, there's almost a whole inch of overlap. I don't know if you can see this, but you should be able to see through where these black lines connect, and these small lines up here should be creating a box. Just make sure that you're getting them close enough. All of the lines should connect, even though they're going to be a little bit harder to see because they're going to be covered by a top sheet of paper. But we're going to cut one of them up and we're going to do it up together because these are really confusing sleeves to put together. I'm going to do it on the at-home one because I'm assuming that's how most people will do it. There's 3 different versions of the pattern. This one is the off-the-shoulder classic strap. All of the patterns are the same shape, we just have some variance in sizes. So this one is called the classic strap. It is the same width as this off-the-shoulder classic strap with added length. And then this one has both added width and added length. So this one's gonna be good for a little bit narrower strap on probably bridle size 0 to size 8. I would probably suggest going with the longer version for size 8 and above, or if someone just wants it a little bit droopier, or if they want to pull it up over their shoulder, you might need the extra length for that. And then we've made this extra length and extra width one because we have a lot of brides who want a little bit more coverage, a little bit more modesty, and so we can use it for an over-the-shoulder strap that gives them a little bit more coverage that they're comfortable with. We've also had some brides want an off-the-shoulder strap that's just a little bit thicker too, but we're gonna cut this up and we're gonna put it together because it is quite confusing. This is a bias cut sleeve, so you can see the grain line runs diagonally through it. The grain line is going to run with the grain line, and that's going to give us the most drape, the most droop, the most, movement of the sleeve. It's going to end up looking a lot better if we do it that way. This isn't really a great sleeve for heavy fabrics, satins and things. It's really great for chiffons, really great for like drapey silks and stuff too. So we'll cut this out, and then I'm going to leave it on the table once it's cut out because we're going to make some markings as to what fabric is going to be visible on the outside and what's going to be tucked away, because that's the thing that's so confusing about these. Now that we have our piece cut out, I'm gonna go through with a purple marker and draw on my fabric where all of my solid lines are, because my solid lines are going to be what's visible to the outside of the sleeve, and then these dotted lines are gonna be what's folded in. So that's the confusing part about it. And it's a lot easier if you draw your lines out. And then this is gonna get eaten up in seam allowance, so I'm not gonna draw that. Boom, it's gonna make our life so much easier. And then we're gonna sew it into a little tube, and we're gonna do right sides together, obviously. This is another reason that it's very important to cut it on the bias, is because you're gonna have to stretch this side to make it match this length. So I'm gonna start with my ends so that I can stretch it through the center and make sure. And we have 1/2 inch of seam allowance, so that's what I'm gonna sew with on the machine. I'm gonna take it to the machine. I'm gonna do 1/2 inch all down this seam line, then I'll bring it back. Okay, and I have that sewed. You can cut down the seam allowance a little bit if you'd like to. I'm probably gonna cut it to be like 1/4 inch just because this fabric is pretty sheer and I don't wanna be able to see a huge chunk of seam allowance through there. And then I'm gonna flip it. The side I'm working on is this side of the pattern piece right here. It only has one fold. So I'm gonna show you that side first. It's gonna be a little bit easier. Pretty much every time I do these, I have to play around with which way it folds. So don't feel bad if you have to do that. The piece I'm looking at right here is this one section that doesn't have any purple to it. That means it's all gonna be hidden behind it, and that is this section right here. So essentially this point is going to fold over and connect to this to create one continuous line right here. So we're gonna be folding that back and essentially just continuing the line, if that makes sense. So we'll do that here. A little bit easier to manipulate the fabric. And honestly, once you do that, the rest of it just kind of falls into place. It's just going to be at one single pleat on this edge. I'll fold this down first. And then this next peak, so this peak, that's going to be where the entire sleeve folds over. So it's going to fold over on itself, and it's going to have basically just a mirror image. And it's going to become your slanted end. Your slanted end is always going to be in the back, unless you decide not to, but that's how we do it, because we put it in the back and then it flops out and drapes to the front. So this is going to be our right sleeve. And then we're going to come to this other side. We're going to start with this big peak right here. This is the same peak that I'm looking at, boom, boom. And same sort of deal as the other side, except that there's this little section that's going to be visible, and then there's another fold. So where there's only one fold on this side, there's going to be two on the other. And if you do your back side first, you're going to have a really good idea of which direction those folds are supposed to go. That's the thing that trips me up every time I'm making these, is deciding where the folds need to go, whether they go away from me or toward me. And so now we know. We cheated a little. Press those together. And this end that I'm working on, it's going to be our front end. It's going to be straight across. It's going to be horizontal, whereas this one is at about a 45-degree angle. So I have that first peak done. That was folding this. This little section is our visible fabric that we're going to keep. And then this peak is going to fold in on itself and create another pleat, but it's going to be kind of an invisible pleat. You're not going to see it very much. Because it's going to fold in on itself, we want everything else to be kind of in line, because we want this to be on the very edge of the sleeve. And I'm going to fold this down a little bit further. So essentially we want everything to come to one clean line. So like I said, this is going to be your right sleeve. So if I was in a strapless dress, or, you know, little straps, this would tuck either into the side or into the top, and then this would drape around to the back, and it would tuck into the back like this. So I'm gonna go sew these ends really quick, and then we'll have a completed sleeve. Boom. And depending on what kind of fabric you're using, the pleats will be more or less visible. Because this is a very lightweight fabric, they're a lot less visible. If you were using something a little bit heavier, like a stretch satin or something that has more weight to it, these pleats would be a little bit more defined, similar to like these crepe ones that we have in this photo here. And I'm going to give you the dimensions of the width of this laying flat. I'm not going to press it all the way flat. At its widest point, 3.5 inches wide. So I think that makes our wide one about 4.5 inches, but I'll go and make another one and we'll see what it is.